With the new release of Legends EA, a bunch of new Mega Evolution forms have been leaked of which Pokemon will be receiving them. Let's see how crazy we can get with these designs and what else waits us in this video. Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'll be throwing out another Pokemon video, but this will, however, not be focusing on my hypothetical Australian-based Gen 10 region. Today, I'll be focusing on Mega Evolution, and before we begin, I'd like to tell you guys that there will be spoilers, and while most of these might not be confirmed, I think some of them could be. So if you don't want any spoilers, I recommend you click off now, or maybe stay and mute it. I don't know, I'm just kidding. Moving on, in this video, I've created 6 new Mega Evolutions based off the leaked 26? I don't know, I think it's like 26 or 7 or 5 or who really knows at this point. Anyways, or something like that, but this video is the product of a 1 out of 3 videos that will be covering this subject. As I go along, and well, I'll go and say why I chose the features for most of these megas, and I hope you guys give me some feedback and maybe even some critiques in the comments to let me know what I could have changed or what you would have done differently with these megas. Okay, that's enough yap for now. Let's actually get into the video before you guys click off. Starting with the first Mega Evolution I've ever designed. Yes, I literally learned how to make megas just for you guys. Drampa. Drampa has always felt, how do I put this, underrated, in my opinion. Maybe it's just because I love Alola, and that's my favorite Pokemon region, but it's one of those designs that was made that never really got any spotlight since its design isn't that exciting to most people. I personally think it's a very funny and unique design, so the opportunity to turn it into a Mega Evolution was just too good. I started sketching with an idea in mind, a huge dragon with fluffy angel wings and angry glowing eyes. Drampa is sweet and can get pretty irritated sometimes, but Mega Drampa is straight up monstrous. This design was really fun to make, and after figuring out colors, I kept adding more and more onto the design just to make it feel like a Mega. More spots, more fluff, more patterns, and after many times of trying, I think I found a pretty good consistent pattern, like, you know, a good middle ground. Also, please remember, this was my first ever Mega, so don't be too critical. Mega Drampa, the placid Pokemon. This newfound Mega Evolution makes Drampa much stronger than I ever could have imagined. With its wings now being capable of flight, it can soar through the skies as a threat to all those who rise against it. Its longer whiskers can detect currents in the air, predicting the opponent's next move, being able to dodge it in seconds. For Dragonite, I'll be honest, I went for a pretty generic concept, but I brought back the blue, you know, from Dragonair as most people do, and I gave it a slight more of a unique twist than most. I made the tail more serpent-like, as if, you know, it's much more powerful, but there could still be something else to break the plush toy looking dragon. Let me elaborate. This was going to be similar, but I wanted to convey that there was something missing. The thing that was missing was Dragonite becoming a full blue serpent, but who knows, I might create that sometime in the future if you guys want. This is definitely one of my favorites, probably number 2 or 3 that I've made, and it makes me really happy to say that I created it. Mega Dragonite, the dragon Pokemon. Dragonite now has the power to control the weather completely. Using its unique orbs, Dragonite can create blizzards, storms, droughts, floods, and more. Its long serpent-like tail can wrap around opponents with a devastating dragon claw. Outside of battle, this Pokemon is said to have the kindest heart of any other in this form. And now it's time for a pretty unique one, Scrafty. While Drampa gained flying type, because, you know, it grows bigger wings, and Dragonite becoming part fairy type because it's an almighty, kind, fairy-like being, Scrafty gains an entirely new element type, electric. When I look at Scrafty, I see a small little lizard with baggy pants and a punk rock aesthetic. This might not be intentional, but that's what I went with. I really led into this theme with a Toxtricity mohawk. In fact, I actually used Toxtricity as reference for this, and a baggy hoodie with what looks to be tribal patterns. I just wanted to mix it up, so I kinda, in all honesty, added random electric patterns with some tribal-esque vibes to it, but it kinda works considering it's an all-powerful electric lizard thing. I made its tail slightly longer and made those spiky lines that make up its original silhouette into part of the actual electric typing, which is also another big reason of why I made it part electric typing. I'm really happy with this design, and it might be the most realistic Mega out of all of them, but it isn't my favorite, but I do really like the design. Scrafty, the Hoodlum Pokemon. This new form of Scrafty has shed skin so much that it wears it like a hoodie. This shed skin, however, can hold electricity throughout it, transferring the electricity from the Mohawk to the claws, tail, or even form it into moves such as Thundershock. It can create unique sounds with electricity, blasting the opponent with a paralyzing, deafening zap. Moving on, we have a very unique one, but not because of the Mega Evolution itself, but because of the Pokemon it will be, that being Eternal Flower Floette. Now, most of you might remember this because if you've played the X and Y games about 10 years ago when they were released, or even more recent than that like me, this was the ace Pokemon to AZ, the old guy who made up the "It's been 3,000 years" meme, which I gotta say has been used a lot lately with ZA, which is kind of ironic. But anyways, this was not my personal cup of tea. As you may notice in my designs, I like to do strong, menacing reptilian designs, and this was a little fairy with a giant flower. So I did what I could, but I gave it more fancy features, such as small earrings, a ponytail on the top of the head, and long hair behind the body, just, you know, waving. I made the flower kind of resemble the ultimate weapon, you know, the giant death ray used to originally try to kill Kalos and start the Great War, as if this Pokemon held the power to the ultimate weapon itself, which who knows, it might in the story. The stats might just be broken, and in all honesty, I kind of rushed this design because, you know, I like doing reptiles and dragons, but I do think it turned out alright. Floette, Eternal Form, the single bloom Pokemon. After thousands of years, this strange variant of Floette can finally Mega Evolve. Strangely, since this Pokemon is a middle stage, yet is one of the most powerful Mega Forms to date. The power radiating from its flowers seems to have a connection to the very power that creates Mega Evolution. Now for a very highly anticipated Mega, Skarmory. Skarmory it's a very unique Pokemon, and I know I've said that a lot in this video, but truly, Skarmory is a very unique one considering it's from Gen 2, and in the sense that I've often neglected it because of its design. While the design is good, I've always felt like it needed something, whether that be an evolution, a stat buff, or a Mega Evolution. Skarmory has always needed something. I think the new design that I've given it makes me like Skarmory a lot more, and for those who know me, no, it's not because it's partially red and black. I mean, that could be part of the reason, but whatever. As crazy as it sounds, I put 2 giant jet thrusters on the Knife Bird. This would never happen in Pokemon, as they like to stay much more similar to the original body plan in the original state, but when Mega Evolving, I think it works out pretty good for my interpretation of this design. Some nice orange and yellow gradients to imply heat, because, you know, literal jet thrusters, and a nice glowing red eye made this probably my favorite one that I've designed in this entire video. Mega Skarmory, the Armor Bird Pokemon. When Skarmory unlocks the ability to Mega Evolve, it gains 2 gigantic thrusters on its back. These thrusters can dash through the sky at incredible speeds, slicing any opponent in half without even noticing. Its sharp feathers can create wind currents from the unparalleled speeds of this Pokemon. Lastly, the tiny Birdman that not many liked considering it's a Mexican-based Pokemon in a France-based region. Hawlucha is certainly intriguing considering that it is unique and cool, and the colors are really vibrant, and the design is good, but it just needs to be more than what it currently is. In my design, I didn't change much from the original, but I did, however, change the body type, which leads me to my next conclusion of what I previously said. Pokemon would never do this, unless in certain circumstances. But I added some patterns to the wings to change up, I don't know, how much empty space there was originally, and I changed up the mask to also add a new color into the palette. Black just made this palette so much cooler and probably much more unique than the previous form. The wings were kind of tough, and while it's probably my least favorite part of the entire design, I think I did pretty good with them. I didn't give this thing pupils since I kind of wanted to keep that Batman Luchador vibe, which I did. Mega Hawlucha, the wrestling Pokemon. When Hawlucha Mega evolves, it not only becomes the strong, capable fighter that I always dreamed it could be, but is now the strongest it could ever become. Hawlucha can glide from tree to tree, using its muscly legs to kick back and swoop down on opponents, leaving them fainted with a devastating kick to the chest. And that's going to be all the new Megas for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts about them and what Mega you want to see next. And if this video does, well, then I'll make a part 2 and maybe even a part 3. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace. Oh, and by the way, if you guys really enjoy these Megas, then just give me some suggestions for ones that aren't even in the chart of quote-unquote confirmed Megas, and I might make some of my own, like, I don't know, Flygon or Flygon. I don't know. Just let me know in the comments. Peace. Bye.